A bigger cultural shock, I would say, is like people sneeze with a loud noise here in public.
Okay, yeah.
So
That was
that was very
annoying.
annoying. About working hours, like I used to work 12 to 14 hours, but I can't complain on that because I was having fun while working those hours as well, because I learned a lot of technical stuff and a lot of things. But coming here is like it's all relaxed, all chilled out. But that was irritating for me, I would say, to be very honest. If you don't have a salary range which which can help you to get a blue card, don't worry, you can still get a residence permit.
Yeah.
And if you have to earn more money, you have to learn German. Definitely it will help you for your daily living. I didn't knew that after coming here, how my social life will impact, how loneliness will impact on me, how language will create a greatest impact in my life. I didn't knew all of those stuff. Look into Stack Overflow, connect with people, curate your resume, have patience, have that confidence, create some impact, make connections. These are all the mantras I would say to land into a job instead of following social desi influencer.
So, welcome to another podcast where we have a very nice guest who will be talking about career, how he came to Germany, Europe for his career, like in advancing his career, for job, settlement, and all other things we will talk about. So, welcome, Mr. Emamul.
Thank you, Piyush, for having me.
So, if you could just briefly introduce yourself, I mean, we will do a brief introduction, but if you could introduce yourself briefly to our audience, then we can start with our conversation.
Sure, thanks. So, yeah, hello everyone. My name is Emamul Khan. I come from Mumbai, India, and I moved to Germany since 2020, which was July 2020. I would say it was peak COVID times, but since I have secured a job in Germany by sitting back in India, I had the contract since 2019 December itself, and I had that visa as well. However, I was about to move in Germany from March 2020, but still, due to COVID, I moved in July 2020. I have approximately 16 years of working experience as a software engineer. Currently, I'm working in Germany as a cloud solution architect, and I'm working with a big international firm here in Germany, where I work with multiple different customers from different countries. And I moved in 2020, but I started my career in Germany in a smaller mid-scale company, and then after 2 years I switched into a bigger company. And right now I'm going to complete about 5 years in the next upcoming year in the month of March. And yeah, I would say that's about me. About my education, I completed masters in computer application from Mumbai University, but it was a part-time education which I did. It was a part-time degree. It says as IDOL, Institute of Distance Education and Open Learning, from Mumbai University. And I did that masters for 3 years while working in parallel, and that's how I have 16 years of experience now. And I did bachelor's into information technology. I completed my bachelor's in 2008, and immediately after my bachelor's I started working, and then after 1 year I started doing masters. And in parallel to my work, I also did my masters and completed my masters. And yeah, I live with my wife here. We two are living together. And it's been now 4 years, so I'm here to share my experience with all of you guys. How was my journey after moving from Mumbai, like a city of dreams, from India to Germany, and what all things happened here, how the cultural shift, how the work culture changed, and how was my experience from professional to my personal life, and everything I would like to share over here, so that you guys can also learn from my experiences. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to write down in comments, which we will be happy to answer you guys in the upcoming videos also.
Great. So it was a great introduction, and as you mentioned that 16 years of experience, so it's a really nice long experience. But let's, I mean, start with as you mentioned about cultural shock. So what was the first cultural shock when you moved from India to Germany? Not only in terms of let's say professional, but also in terms of personal or some maybe some other cultural shock. So if you could share, because you have a lot of experience from India and now 5 years of working experience here in Germany. So it would be also nice to know what kind of differences are there.
Yeah, so I would say I will not take that as a shock, but definitely it is a cultural change because it's altogether a different country than India,
Yeah.
and a different city like Mumbai you will never see. Even in different parts of India there are bigger cities, Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, but Mumbai is kind of a city where everybody is hustling and bustling, running here and there every time. But as soon as I moved in Germany, and it was a peak COVID time in July 2020, definitely there was a lockdown. People were in their homes, not going outside. Supermarkets were open, but people were still not visiting. So, and after I moved here, I moved initially into a Black Forest area where you belong from right now,
Yeah.
the city called as
Freiburg,
Freiburg
yeah.
im Breisgau. And I lived over there because I lived over there because I started a job from a company which is based in Freiburg im Breisgau. And that city is especially like coming from Mumbai and moving to a city like Freiburg. It's a very small city. So if you compare one small station of a Western Line, like east part of a Western Line station, like for example Malad Station,
Yeah.
if you just see the east part of Malad Station, it is still a bigger size and with a lot of people rather than people and the area of Freiburg city. So that was
Drastic
a drastic shift into my life.
Yeah.
That was a drastic change, and I could hear birds chirping outside my house when I used to sit and work on my laptop. It was a pin drop, more than pin drop silence all over. And that silence was, little bit annoying, I would say, for me.
Okay.
Uh, but still, I survived. I survived that lockdown because I was focusing more on my work, and I was new to the country and new to the city, and I was trying to adjust and learn how everything works here. How do you go to supermarket and how you chase to fill those products on the billing counter into your bags?
Okay.
Because in our city, like when you purchase a product,
Yeah, you just
yeah,
order online and you will receive at your door.
either you order online or either you go to DMart or any other places. When
Yeah.
you purchase your groceries, you just have to stand and they will fill your bags. But here it is
Yeah.
completely different, and you have to rush because they throw your products very fast, and you have
Yeah.
to be in an F1 race to fill your products in your bag.
Indeed.
So
Especially in Aldi.
especially in Aldi or any other supermarket, I would
Yeah.
say. And that was the thing I was learning for first 6 months. My visa was valid for first 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Between that period, my company had provided me an external consultant who was helping me to find out an apartment initially when I moved here, who was helping me for my conversion of visa into a blue card,
Okay.
who was helping me to finding a new house, and also helped me once to shop my grocery as well when I initially moved here.
Okay.
So a bigger cultural shock, I would say, is like people sneeze with a loud noise here in public.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That was
that was very
annoying.
annoying and pathetic, I would say. Like when I was traveling in a public bus or train, people sitting behind me, they used to sneeze and squeeze their nose out very forcefully and very loudly.
Yeah.
However, in India, it's not like that. When you sneeze or when you squeeze your nose, you do it very silently, or you go away from public places and
Yeah.
do that stuff. But here they do it in public, and it felt me very annoying why people are doing like this over here. So that was first cultural shock for me.
Yeah.
And the other regarding other stuff like emptiness, less people, smaller city, I knew that because no city can compete a city like Mumbai. So,
Yeah. Indeed.
and definitely another big cultural stuff is like about work culture, which is a very much important stuff which we can talk about.
Yeah.
It's about working hours. Like I used to work 12 to 14 hours, but I can't complain on that because I was having fun while working those hours as well, because I learned a lot of technical stuff and a lot of things. But coming here is like it's all relaxed, all chilled out. But that was irritating for me, I would say, to be very honest, because
So you were kind of adapted to that overworking environment, let's say.
not overworking. I was adapted to a rush, kind
Okay.
of rush, where I used to get kick when I used to work for that, because
Okay.
I'm that kind of a person who cannot sit idle for 2 hours and need to do something here and there. So, but different people have different perspective of
Yeah.
saying these things. But for me, it is like that was shocking that I have to work very less, like in 8 hours a day. I work for 6 hours, excluding the lunchtime and all those stuff. And it was relaxing. So the day used to start like assigning a task, having a daily meeting with my manager and the team. And then nobody used to ask me or take follow-ups for how I'm progressing about my task, how I'm doing it. The thing which I have to update them is like in the next upcoming day, next morning. So in that day nobody asks anything to you, and the team was also supportive. They were helping, they were guiding me because I was new to the country, I was new to the company. So that went pretty much well. But yeah, sometimes I was irritated because I have not lot much to do, and also there was a lockdown, I couldn't do much. But slowly I adjusted myself to this kind of working culture,
Okay.
and now everything is going great, I would say.
So you're enjoying now, or you are kind of, let's say, already adapted to this culture.
Yeah, I can say that I am adapted to that culture. And but still I do a lot of another things besides my daily work, because I enjoy doing it. So yeah, like about work culture, I am adapted a bit. So that's good part, because you have to learn, and if you have to work with different people in your team, you should get adapted. That is much more important, because if you are in a rush and hurry, other people with whom you are working with, they will not respond you.
Yeah.
And then you cannot get irritated or annoyed because of that thing. So
Yeah.
you have to have patience, wait for the response, wait for the email to come, wait for the chat messages to come to you.
Yeah.
And then you have to work collaboratively with your team, and especially if you work with any company, it's all about collaboration. So you cannot get irritated, or you
Yeah.
cannot get annoyed while working with your colleagues.
Yeah, true, true, true. So since you mentioned about this blue card thing, so if you can just elaborate, because many people might not be aware of this blue card system. So what are like requirements, or how people can get this blue card? Because you applied later on after coming here and after working for 6 months, right? So if you can just briefly kind of walk us through this blue card process.
Sure. So I would say there is a lot of confusion regarding this blue card stuff among people from India. So a lot of people like me who applies job sitting back in India, and then they apply for visa. But then when I see their posts, or when they write on Facebook, they write that I'm getting blue card. I have secured a job. How can I get a blue card from India? But especially it is not a blue card when you are in India. It is a visa which is of type D category. So and that is a long term visa. So whenever you apply for a job, you will receive a contract by letter in India by post at your home. After that, you take that work contract, and then you secure an appointment in the consulate of your city. For me, I was in Mumbai, so I secured an appointment in Mumbai. I applied for a visa which is of type D category. And normally they give this kind of visa for a long term stay in Germany. So once you get a visa, on that visa you travel to Germany.
Okay.
And once you are here, you do your registration, Anmeldung as we say, after you find a house. And then since your visa validity is of 6 months, the immigration authority, the Ausländer Behörde, takes time over here, because they are relaxed, because they know that you have 6 months to secure a blue card. And especially the most important condition to get a blue card is your salary range. So I'm not sure what is the salary range right now, but when I moved here in Germany, it was almost 53,000 for a highly skilled worker like IT or science or an engineer people.
It has increased a little bit more, so up to 56 to 58,000.
Oh,
yearly,
that's a good thing. So yeah, I mean, if you have that kind of a salary, definitely you can go for a blue card. So if you don't have a salary range which which can help you to get a blue card, don't worry. You can still get a residence permit.
Yeah.
There is not a big difference on getting a blue card or a residence permit, but there are very minor advantages, I would say.
And what kind of advantages are there? Let's say if we compare residence permit and blue card. So for example, I mean, blue card, everyone know, residence card, everyone knows that, for example, if you're coming here for, let's say, job or PhD or anything, you get this residence permit for up to your contract limit. Let's say if it is for 2 years or 1 year, you get your residence permit. That means you can travel across Europe, but you cannot change your job. these are the kind of drawback, let's say. Other than that, only one thing is there, that you don't have to go again and again in immigration office to renew. If it is longer contract, let's say 4 to 5 years, you get that residence card for 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
So that's the only benefit
Yeah.
what I see in resident card. But what are the benefits of blue card?
So the benefits of blue card is, I mean, I would say one good benefit is that if when your company allows you to work from a country outside Germany, or if they also allow you to work from sitting back in India, then you can stay outside Germany for, I would say, 12 months, up to 12 months if you have a blue card. So if you don't come to Germany until 12 months, but if you still earn from a German employer and you are registered in Germany, you have done your Anmeldung, you pay taxes, you pay your health insurance, you pay your long-term care and
Pension.
social security, pension insurance and all those stuff.
In simple term, pension, let's say,
yeah.
just to simplify. Yeah.
So you can stay outside Germany for 12 months. And another benefit is like when you have to call your wife, like once you have moved here alone, if you have not moved alone, then in that case, if you have to call your wife on a family reunion visa, then your wife will not have to give any German exam like A1 level. Also, she can directly apply for family reunion visa.
Okay.
And she can get a visa. So however, there is a different thing in terms of having a permanent residence card. Like if you have a permanent residence card, then your wife will have to give German exam, German language exam, which is of A1 level, and then she will be able to get the visa. So that's the difference. But yeah, on the other side, there are disadvantages as well, I would say. If somehow you started working in Germany and after 6 months or maybe in a year, your company made losses and they terminated your contract, by laying you off, then you have initially 3 months to stay in Germany and find a new job again. But if you are not able to secure a new job in those 3 months, you can still request to Ausländerbehörde to extend more 3 months so that you can still get more time to find out another job. So maximum at a stretch, I would say that Ausländerbehörde can stretch at a 6 months. If you have no job in Germany, you can stay here for next 6 months and try to find a new job. But nowadays, there are other opportunities, or there are other things as well, like job seeker visa. People is trying, like if they are laid off, they are also taking job seeker visa to stay for at least 1 year, because job seeker visa allows you to stay for 1 year in Germany and find a job. Then again, there is another stuff came in which is called as Chancenkarte, or chance card in English, if I would say, which will again allow you to stay back in Germany for more than a year, because these people need skilled workers like us. So they have brought in these opportunities for us to stay back. But yeah, it would cost you. You will have to pay your rent. You will have to pay your health insurance, which is mandatory. If you don't have your job, you have to pay public health insurance of minimum 200 euros, I would say. So you have to pay all those stuffs from your own pocket. But there are other things as well. I mean, there are a lot of rules. So it's like, if you have lost your job, but if you have contributed in your pension and social security for up to 12 or 13 months in that year, then you can apply for a job loss expense, or a Arbeitslosengeld, as we say in Germany, which you will get from the unemployment money. But it also have a lot of terms and conditions in that. But we can talk about that maybe in upcoming things.
So you already mentioned about, I mean, that was my question as well, to have what are the differences between permanent residence and then blue card, because it's almost similar, but you have already covered. So I will just ask this.
No, but there is one major difference with having permanent residence and blue card is, if you lose your job in blue card, no matter you have worked for more than a year in a company, you still have 3 months or 6 months maximum at a stretch to find a new job. But if you have a PR, you can live as long as you want to, as long as you can finance your stay in Germany, as long as you can.
There isn't any limitation, for example, 5 years or 10 years.
No.
So permanent residence is unlimited.
Unlimited, but it also is attached to your passport. So if your passport has a validity until 2030, you will get a permanent residence card until the validity of 2030. But as soon as you renew your passport and your validity of passport increases, you can also change the validity date on your permanent residence card. But
Okay.
in a way, it is an unlimited stay.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, it's really nice. And what about job changes? For example, let's say if you have blue card and if you have, so let's say there we hypothetically we talk that there is one person A who has blue card and person B has permanent residency. So if they want to switch into jobs, different job, so what are the possibilities or what are let's say drawbacks of that, or any restriction on switching jobs?
Yes, there are. So there is one more rule over here for the blue card is like when you get a blue card, it is attached to your employer. So initially for 2 years, if between these 2 years, if you are switching an employer by yourself, that's not a big deal. Let me just give you this statement into a quotation mark. You can still switch a job even if your blue card is attached with your employer. Within 2 years, you can still switch a job. The only thing is you have to inform Ausländer Behörde that you are switching a job, and that job should be into the same field or same area. So for example, if you are working into an IT software industry and you switch a job, you have to find a job which is similar to a software industry.
Okay.
And you will have to inform Ausländer Behörde. They will again give you a kind of a paper where they will change the name of your employer. It is called as Zusatzplatz, I would say, in German. And once you inform them, they will just change the name of the employer in your Zusatzplatz, and then you can start your employment with a new employer within 2 years. But however, in case of having permanent residence, it's not necessary. There is no need to inform Ausländer Behörde.
Okay.
And the second main important thing is that you can do a job in any field, in any area. No matter you work in a supermarket, no matter you work in logistics, you work in any area, you have choice for your career. What you want to do, you are free to do it. But with blue card, you have the choice of choosing a job in that specific area only, I would say.
So one thing I forgot to ask and also mention. So for permanent residency, one has to have at least B2 level of German language proficiency. What about blue card? Is there any requirement as such? For
No, so let me just correct you over here. For permanent residency, it is not that you should have B2 level of proficiency.
Okay.
It depends. It's like, it's Germany, you have a lot of rules, so you have to bear with it.
Okay.
So if you have a blue card and you moved here on a job, you got a blue card, and you are contributing to social security, you are paying your pension insurances, and if you paid it to 33 months continuously, and if you have A1 German level, then you can switch to have a permanent residence.
Okay.
With A1 also, it's not needed. B2
Okay.
is not needed.
Okay.
But if you want to get a permanent residence more earlier it was 24 months. So if you have done B1 level of German, then you can get it in 24 months.
Okay.
However, I'm not sure if there is any new change in this rule or law, but as far as I remember, with B1 level, you can get a permanent residence after your blue card within 24 months. And then on top of that, again, there is one more test which you have to give, which is called as Leben in Deutschland.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a very super easy test. And once you pass that test, you apply for permanent residence. It takes some time, you get it.
Okay. That's good. I mean, yeah. Thank you very much for correcting me on this.
No worries. Yeah.
So talking about language proficiency, so since you are from Mumbai and it's more like kind of multicultural in Indian subcontinent, let's say, and mostly but people speak Hindi and English there, Marathi as well. So coming from that background, how was different? Like for example, did you already know some German language when you moved here, or was there any challenge, let's say, at first, and then it kind of motivated you to maybe have a proficiency in this language?
So the only motivation to learn German language is to grow here,
Okay.
That's the only motivation for me. Maybe other people might have different kind of motivation, but for me, if I have moved to a country outside India, I want to grow more, I want to earn more money. That's my simple logic.
Okay.
And if you have to earn more money, you have to learn German. Definitely, it will help you for your daily living. But as far as your question, like for me, like when I moved from Mumbai, and didn't had a chance to learn any German language because I moved based on my experience and my skill set. And my company was also okay to work in English language.
Okay.
But still, my company supported to get me enrolled into A1 language course from Goethe Institute. And every time I have learned German language here in Germany, my company financed that course.
Okay.
And that's why I learned from some of the expensive schools, which is Goethe is one of the expensive German language schools in Germany, I would say. So that's how I started learning A1 level when I moved here. Then I didn't learn A2, but I did a self-learning because I wanted to grow every year. Then I gave A2 certification from Goethe. Then I didn't do B1. Sorry, I did a mistake. I did A2 again. Sorry, I switched. From the same company, I did A2 course, but I didn't learn B1 level.
Okay.
So when I learned A2, after that I gave a certification exam, and then I was A2 certified, and I was still eligible to apply for a PR.
Okay.
And then I applied PR. But for B1, I didn't enroll for a traditional language school where you go and sit, have a textbook and learn grammars and all those rules of German language. For B1, what I did is like I enrolled for a speaking course because I wanted to feel more confident while speaking or while talking with anyone in my daily life. It's not about talking in my professional life, but I wanted to feel more confident for my daily life. For an example, to take an appointment from a doctor over here in Germany, and when I call them, they used to talk with me in German. So
Okay.
I used to not understand at earlier stage, but then after that, when I learned the language, I felt more confident, and then it is now very easy for me to book an appointment, talk to Ausländer or do anything in my daily life. So
Yeah,
that's what's my journey.
I mean, language should not be as a barrier. It should act as a bridge.
Yeah, but to be very honest, that's a barrier in Germany. It will be always a barrier for your growth.
Yeah.
So if you are hesitant to learn language, don't do so. It is the strongest recommendation from my side. Please learn if you want to grow, and if you are planning to stay longer in Germany. If you are not planning to stay longer, planning to move out within 2 or 3 years, that's fine. You don't learn language. But if you want to grow more, earn more money, have a good social life, learn the language. And it's not like if you start learning from a language school, you start speaking and you will be very proficient like other people who are speaking over here. And especially I have noticed a lot of people in Germany who come from India, even if they have learned, they are hesitant,
To speak.
I can see those hesitancy, and it was the case with me as well. And sometimes it is still the case with me when I am not confident. Even if I still know to speak in some topics or some discussions, I am still not confident to speak in German language. I'm still hesitant, but you will have to overcome on those stuff, I would say. And that will help you a lot to grow more. And why not? I mean, if we are leaving our country to move in another country, we are leaving our social life in our country. We are leaving our ease. Here there are a lot of hard work we have to do household chores and everything. So we do all of this stuff forward, to grow more, right? True. And if you spend 6 years, 10 years, and if you see yourself that you are not reaching at that level where you should be while you were in India, then it does not make sense at all, So you have to think accordingly and work accordingly.
Yeah, true. So, did you get influenced by these Desi influences for coming to Germany, or it was your kind of desire to come to Germany and work here, or let's say this was kind of your plan to maybe come here, have experience, and then maybe move somewhere else or so on?
No, I would not say that I got influenced with Desi Instagram influencer, but definitely I would give credit to one person. I'm not sure if I can take the name or of his YouTube channel in your podcast. Is it okay to take the name?
It's okay, yeah.
Then he is called as Nikhilesh Dhure because I watched his YouTube video. His channel name is, I guess, Men's Pro something.
Yeah.
And before deciding to move Germany, I watched his YouTube video because his videos are way more authentic and
not so sugar coated.
Not so sugar coated, not so highlighted or show off kind of stuff. That is what I like the most. Instead of looking into this desi influencers showing that, oh my god, Germany में इतना बड़ा प्याज मिल रहा है supermarket में. I mean, that's pathetic for me. So that I saw his video. But before coming to Germany, I had two countries in my mind. One was Canada,
Okay.
and so I started also doing IELTS exam course in India itself. And another country was Germany as well.
Okay.
But to be honest, I didn't knew that after coming here, how my social life will impact, how loneliness will impact
Yeah.
on me, how language will create a greatest impact in my life. I didn't knew all of those stuff, but still I was motivated because I wanted to explore international work culture, and I heard that work culture in Germany is very good, and definitely I experienced that as well. So it is a very good work culture. So, and when I tried like from India by applying to multiple jobs using LinkedIn or Stack Overflow or whatever job portals, I failed a lot of times. I got a lot of rejections, but I succeeded after applying for a job for 1 year. And there was no one to guide me, when I started applying for a job. I didn't know which format kind of CV I should create. I used to sit every weekend. I used to modify my CVs every weekend. I used to send LinkedIn connection requests to people into my work areas, like into IT industry or software industry. I used to send personal direct messages to them to refer me into their companies. But nothing worked out. At last, like I tried, and then and one fine day, like I got succeeded after a year. And by then, like going Canada, like I heard that it was not so easy, because even if you would have passed that IELTS exam, even if I would have passed that, getting into the name into that lottery with your scores was not that easy at that time. So
Yeah.
hopefully, like Germany went well and I got a visa, and then I moved. But yeah, there was a tragedy. Like when I was about to move, a lockdown happened, and then I was worried, but things worked out, and now I'm here with sitting and giving some tips for you guys.
Yeah, that's great. Um, so, in terms of finding job, what would you recommend to our audience? For example, let's say, because many people don't know how to start already. That's the first thing, especially for people who want to apply for job from India. People who have moved here for, let's say, their masters, bachelors, masters, or maybe PhD. It's okay for them because they know all the processes, like how to go through with the job market and everything. But many people who are sitting in India, and especially nowadays, because there are many desi influencers who are just sugarcoating information and then saying that there are a lot of opportunities, but not providing all the information that what are the requirements, the basic things. For example, as you mentioned, that language is a barrier. So that we have already covered. But for example, let's say if someone wants to apply, where they should start from scratch, let's say, whether it should be LinkedIn or from some portals or something else, or let's say some cold emailing or maybe cold messaging on LinkedIn or so.
Yeah, so I would say that for applying a job sitting back in India, one very important thing is that you need confidence in yourself. First, have that. Second important thing is to have patience, because as you see in Instagram videos, those are all way too high level information, way too high. I would say strongly don't trust those informations. Do your own homework. Try to connect with the people or friends or a network of people who are already there in Germany. Try to watch such podcast which is created by Piyush and his team. Gather more and more information, because following blindly any desi influencer will not help you to land in a good place. So second thing is create your resume, start working on your resume. So like we do in India, if you have 10 to 12 years of experience, and then we create 3, 4, 5 page of resumes.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
is it too much or?
I, it's not too much, or I would say, not so less, but it's always like you have to be on the top in the list, right? So it's not only you applying for a job sitting back in India. There are other people in different countries like Iran, like Middle East, or like Africa, other European countries, East European countries, people are also applying for that same particular job role, you know. So there is a competition for sure, and you have to stand out. So you have to curate your resume to stand out in that competition. You have to like cut short your experiences or make a custom resume according to the job description on which you are applying for. Sometimes, definitely not sometimes, a lot of times it will be like you will feel you are doing a lot for just getting a single job. Don't get demotivated, because that's a phase, it will go. If you want to achieve something, you have to work hard.
Yeah.
And it's not a job of 1 week that you will go through it. So make your resume, even if it is 2 page, it's fine, but don't do it 4 or 5, because nobody is going to read all those 4 or 5 pages, because a lot of applications come in from different countries.
Yeah.
I would say for you guys, as a starting point will be LinkedIn, because it's a very good platform where you can stay connected with people into the same area where you are working from this country. But I think for me, sending cold messages, sending cold emails have never worked out, to be very honest. Nobody, even now, if I also get messages from some people, sometimes I ignore, because I am occupied with something else. I'm brutally being honest. Sometimes I ignore, because when I see the LinkedIn profile of that person, that does not makes me feel much more interested, to talk. But if somebody who is passionate, who wants to come here and who wants to talk, definitely they will write me message again and again, right? And so one fine day I will realize, okay, this guy or he or she is a little bit more passionate to come here. Let's support them, and that's why I'm here in this podcast, to support you guys, which will help you to make things easier. So start with LinkedIn. Start sending LinkedIn connection request. Don't send cold messages. That's annoying for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Having connections is good, because then you will come to know what is going on in Germany market, what kind of posts people are liking. Start sending connection requests to the recruiters who are based in UK, because especially for software based roles in Germany, a lot of recruiters, not in Germany but in UK, they work a lot, and they help you a lot to get those jobs. So start finding recruiters who are based in UK, who are looking for candidates for a job role in Germany. So that's how it works. And then start, if you are into a software industry, you should have done some open source, or maybe in science also, you can do some open source contributions, like you can contribute to your community. And if you contribute to the community of science or engineering, it shows off, it pays you off, because people consider that over here, and you are much more appreciated. So for example, if you come from science and if you have done something for sustainability, if you have done something which has created an impact on the people who are living in this world, that is very good. Show those kind of things in your resume.
Okay.
That will help you to stand out of the crowd. And then slowly start applying for a job from LinkedIn. You can also sign up for local job portals like indeed.de, stepstone.de. In my case, I also signed up in Stack Overflow. Especially people is not habituated to know that Stack Overflow also provides a job section.
Okay.
And for me, it worked out from Stack Overflow. So look into Stack Overflow, connect with people, curate your resume, have patience, have that confidence, create some impact, make connections. These are all the mantras I would say to land into a job, instead of following social desi influencer and just coming here, having your bank account funded and spending those money and making your bank account zero. That's not a good idea.
Yeah,
So,
true.